Welcome to the third AAC training module. This module was designed for teachers, speech-language pathologists, and paraprofessionals working with students who use AAC to gain knowledge and become more comfortable with facilitating AAC.
In this third module, you will learn what your role is in measuring the effectiveness of AAC, different ways to measure AAC effectiveness, what makes up an AAC assessment, what the features matching approach to selection of an AAC device is, and you will learn about some of the dedicated devices and AAC apps that are available. At the end of the module, you will be provided with additional resources and asked to take a quiz. Measuring the effectiveness of AAC serves many purposes. First, measuring the effectiveness of AAC gives information on what a student needs to learn to use their device successfully. Examples include operational, linguistic, strategic, and social skills, which will be explained in the following slides. Secondly, measuring the effectiveness indicates what specific communication skills the student needs to work on, such as asking questions, making requests, rejecting, and giving compliments. Measuring the effectiveness of AAC also guides decision-making on prioritizing AAC skills to target, allows the team to determine what prompts are most effective, and show when and how the student uses his or her device across the school day. The person who uses an AAC system must be able to operate it. They will need to develop technical skills such as using the on and off button, volume control, and clear function. If needed, they should also know how to charge the device and obtain more batteries for the device. The user also needs to access the AAC system to communicate. Access methods include direct selection, scanning, and eye gaze. Finally, the user should know how to use rate enhancement strategies. For example, if the student is accessing the device through scanning, they should be able to increase the scanning rate. If a student has word prediction on their device, they should learn how to access the word prediction through the keyboard and/or another button on the device if appropriate. They may be very simple skills like pressing a single switch, or they may be complicated skills like typing on a computer. But operational competence includes not only the skills to operate the device, but also the skills that will be needed to use alternative access methods, such as voice recognition and screen readers. Operational skills are the ones we most often think of when we talk about teaching a child to use assistive technology. As with any new skill, operational skills will need to be taught to an AAC user. Provide the user with direct instruction, modeling, and many natural opportunities for the user to develop operational skills.
The person who uses AAC must understand the language of the AAC system, which includes the symbols that represent vocabulary and the organization of those symbols within the system. Knowledge of an AAC system's language enables vocabulary retrieval for expressive communication. Common language refers to the knowledge of receptive and expressive language used in the person's home and in the broader community. Linguistic development for AAC is unique in that the individual must attend to and comprehend both spoken language and the language of their AAC system during a communicative interaction. For example, during a cooking task, the AAC user needs to direct the next step in the recipe, which is sprinkle with croutons. Using core vocabulary, she uses her AAC device to speak, put it on top. Strategic learning development begins when a person who uses AAC understands that they are a communicator, knowing what they can communicate and knowing how to communicate it. Examples of strategic skills would be learning to use formal versus informal communication, clarifying messages when appropriate, giving clues to relate a message when AAC content is not adequate, and learning to compensate for communication limitations while still achieving communication effectiveness. Say, for instance, that a specific vocabulary word or phrase is needed but not within the AAC system. The user may choose to use the keyboard to spell their message. In some circumstances, like noisy places such as the cafeteria or in the community at a sporting event, the use of a gesture, for example, pointing or motioning, may be a better strategic communication strategy than using the speech output feature on their device.
Social competency skills are essential for communication with real people in real-life situations. Oftentimes, the social usage of AAC devices is not targeted because we think it will develop on its own, which is sadly not the case. Social skills using AAC need to be explicitly taught with a variety of partners focusing on same-age peers. As a communicator, AAC users need to learn how to connect emotionally while using their conversational skills to interact with others. As a self-advocate, we make choices and requests, but we do so much more. AAC users need to learn self-advocacy skills so they can communicate their dislikes, say no, and problem-solve technical issues that may arise with their device. For example, if their AAC device will not turn on, a student should learn how to ask a peer or adult for assistance. According to Waymeyer, a leading expert in the field of transition planning, self-determined behavior is defined as acting as the primary causal agent in one's life and making choices and decisions regarding one's life free from undue external influence or interference. This slide and the next slide list the component elements of self-determined behavior. When reading the list, think about how each of these are directly linked to communication. When working with a current or prospective AAC user, the team should determine the self-determination skills that the student needs to develop and directly teach these skills so the student can apply these in naturally occurring settings and situations. There are numerous ways to incorporate self-determination throughout the day. Read this slide for some ideas and think of some of your own. Now, here is a video of Krista Howard, an AAC mentor, speaking to a middle school class with AAC users. Note her independence and ability to interact using her AAC device. Notice the students in the class and think about what skills they need so they can achieve communication independence similar to Krista's.
Hi, my name is Greta. I am currently going to school for a teacher aide and speech teacher assistant. I'm going to tell you now it is important to have a communication remorse. For people who can't speak, it is really amazing how I can do speeches on my communication remorse. It is helpful to get your point across. I made new friends with talking on this communication remorse. We also talked on it. People think it is amazing how I can't talk through this rehearse. People came up to me asking about my communication device. My currently new communication device changed my life. It is my hero. I use it every day to sleep my mind and going out with my friends. Question. Yes.
Do you have to charge your device every day?
Yes.
See? Every
Nothing. And about you? Over the summer, did you have fun? Yes, I did. I went to California. Did you have fun? I watched lots of movies, went to the mall, and lived with my family. You are smart. Alright.
I know you get excited because of
You're welcome. I do. I do too.
you just want to say, God, God. You got down.
Ask my parents.
You look like yourself.
I live in Cole.
Oh, okay.
Oh, where are you?
Oh,
That's funny.
pretty asking.
Right, I mean, good for do your work. So I am. A-S-T, student. So I am a student.
The next group of slides will describe the AAC assessment process.
Once the team determines that a student's communication needs to be addressed, gathering information on the student should include the following: observe the student in multiple environments, interact with the student during different activities, review student records, engage in conversations with team members including the student's family, speech-language pathologist, occupational and physical therapist, classroom teacher, special education consultant, classroom aide, assistive technology specialist, psychologist, social worker, or other professionals in the setting. Lastly, baseline data is collected prior to a student trialing a new device or receiving new services and is used later for comparing measures that determine changes in a program. Gathering baseline data will provide the team with valuable information on specific communication skills the student currently has and helps to guide targeting of skills the student needs to acquire. Remember, the student may or may not have a system in place at this time. Here are examples of some specific skills that the team can collect baseline data on. This is not a complete list, but should give you a good idea of the wide variety of skills you can baseline for a student. Click on the links to view sample baseline data sheets. The first data sheet was designed to measure the frequency and communicative intent used by a student. The second data sheet measures the frequency of combining 3 words or more to make phrases, as well as the type and level of prompt needed to be successful within this length of utterance. Additional resources for data collection sheets that you can use can be found on the resources slide of this training module.
Upon discussing the findings, the team will reach one of three outcomes. First, the team may determine that the current AAC system is working and will be maintained and monitored. Secondly, the team may determine that the current system is not working and they have a plan for modification or replacement. Thirdly, the team may find that the current system is not working, but that they need assistance from someone outside of the team to move forward. In our district, these are the situations when the AT specialist should be contacted for either a consultation or assessment. For more information about the differences between an AT consultation and assessment, visit the BPS AAC Procedures and Paperwork page of the Assistive Technology 101 website. If you do not already have the link to this website, you can find it on the resources slide. As you learned in previous modules, assistive technology, including AAC, falls on a continuum, and through an AAC assessment, it may be determined that a student needs low or light tech device, mid-tech device, high-tech device, or a combination of devices. Using a features approach will yield the information a team needs when they are selecting devices. This approach will be discussed in more detail in a few slides. Environmental changes may include the physical layout, schedules, and communication training partner availability. Interventions and strategies may include the need for aided language modeling, intentional communication strategies such as misinterpretation and sabotage, an AAC coach, communication circles, and direct instruction.
Do you see yourself on this list of collaborators? If you communicate with students, then you are a valuable member of the team as AAC decisions are made.
When beginning the AT assessment process, the team needs to identify the area of concern. There are many potential areas such as reading, writing, organization, etc. However, for the purpose of this module, we are going to pretend that the team has identified the area of communication. Secondly, the team needs to gather information related to the student's area of need, which in the case of this situation is communication. This will involve team conversations, student observations, review of records, team completion of a student communication guide, and mini device trials. This may also include a comprehensive language evaluation by the speech and language pathologist and/or formal AAC linguistic assessment. After gathering information, the team will be able to identify the specific tasks or communication functions that the student needs help with. This could include initiating conversations, requesting assistance, protesting, directing an activity, and so on. Next, the team should analyze the information and create a list of features that the student needs. Potential solutions will be identified using the feature matching approach. Developing a feature list and feature matching will be explained in more depth on the next slide. After potential solutions have been identified, the team will meet to review the solutions and additional recommendations such as environmental modifications and collectively decide which solutions they would like to implement for a long-term trial. Then, the team will develop an implementation plan and set a date for a follow-up meeting. Trial times will vary based on the student, but are typically between 1 and 2 months. Again, the trial could be shorter or longer depending on the student. During the trial, data will be collected to measure the effectiveness of the AAC device that is being implemented. Once the trial period is over, the team will meet for a follow-up meeting. If at the meeting it is determined that the AT system is working, the system will be maintained and added to the student's IEP, and progress monitoring will continue. If the AT system is not working, the team will develop a plan to adjust the system or trial a different solution. A feature matching approach ensures that teams identify features a student needs in an AAC device first, rather than formulating ideas for specific AAC devices and apps first. This aligns with the student's environment, task, and tools, or SET framework that our district uses. In other words, before looking into specific tools, the team needs to fully explore a student's needs. When this approach is used, there is a better chance that the device chosen for the student will be accepted by the student, effective, and not abandoned. On the screen, you will see a table. The top row lists the features that the team has determined as necessary for the student. The first column lists specific devices that the team has brainstormed after making the feature list. The X's indicate that a feature is available. If there is not an X, that feature is not available. Using this process, it is clear that the two devices that should be selected for an extended trial are the Accent 800 and the TouchChat app. A blank version of this form can be found in the resources section of this module.
In the next few slides, you will see a variety of features that need to be considered when thinking about the best match for a potential or current AAC user. Click on the links to learn more about starter apps, more feature apps, and robust AAC apps. Starter apps are for users who need basic access. Starter apps tend to have limited functions and are geared toward limited needs. More feature apps are precisely that. They have more features than the basic starter app, but not as many features as the robust apps. They have fewer layout options, decreased page availability, fewer options for synthesized speech, few have spelling keyboards, and they may have more limited libraries of photos to upload. These apps are typically less expensive than robust apps, but not always. Robust apps are good for individuals with complex communication needs and the need for many functions. They support symbol systems as well as text-to-speech. Free light versions in all three categories are available for select apps.
On this slide are examples of a wide variety of high-tech, mid-tech, and low or light-tech devices. Pause the module and choose 3 of these devices to explore. With a colleague or independently, make a list of the features that each of these devices has. If you are not familiar with the devices, you can look them up online.
Collecting data is crucial for establishing and maintaining a successful AAC system to meet a student's growing communication needs. Data should be collected by the team during the trial phase to determine whether an AAC system meets the student's current communication needs following the AAC assessment. Data should then be collected by the team to monitor the success of the student with their new AAC device following the trial period. The purpose of ongoing data collection is to measure the student's growth on the specific communication goals established and to target future goals to meet the student's communication needs. Ongoing data collection by the team should occur at regular intervals, for example, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Results should be shared with the student, family, and school team so that successes can be celebrated as well as challenges addressed by tweaking the method with which the user and/or communication partners are interacting with the device. Click on the links to access sample data collection forms. You can create and customize your data collection sheets to reflect the type and quantity of data that you want to collect. In case a student's AAC device is unavailable or not accessible in a particular situation, for example, the student's iPad is not charged or is not functioning properly, the student needs to have a backup system. An example of how to make a backup system would be screenshot the pages from the student's device, laminate the pages, and place in a 3-ring binder that can be taken or used when needed. A mid-tech solution may include an alternate device, such as a GoTalk with core vocabulary. Make sure you work with your team to identify a backup system and then spend time learning how to use it. It's also a great idea to share this backup system with the student's family so they can use it at home as well.
Before we end the module, we would like to share this powerful video with you.
Hi, teachers and members High School District. My name is Amy Baumgart, and I'm here to help you with your kids in your classes with a disability called on a disability. I am going to show you how to teach teachers the right way. I am a special person. When I was in school, it was a lot of that. I was in my own classes before going to play. I went with colored students in the classroom. I became a cheerleader in high school. I was the first cheerleader in the state with Down syndrome. A cheerleader state and international where we won our national professional in Washington, D.C. Since I've been out of high school, I was a fashion model and a global casting foundation. Fashion show, and I used to work at a modified Down syndrome foundation where I have so much respect. I now go to the resource in kindness where I'm learning how to be a public speaker. I have a lot of skills. I have a lot of dreams. What I want to say to you, don't limit me. Don't limit me by thinking that I can't learn in your classroom. Don't limit me by thinking that I would always need someone to help me. Don't limit me by having low expectations for me. Include me in all your students in your circle of learning, while you are playing a my world-class education. Think about how I have the same needs as my students. We all life skills, we all need life skills. I need 4 years to teach me skills. Beyond reading and math. Teach me how to learn, teach me how to act. Think about what I need to know to be able to do what I did at school. Help me learn to be independent in class. Help me learn to be independent with respect. Help me learn to be independent and safe when you're around our school. Teach me to be independent so I can become an independent adult. I need to work independently. I need to be able to myself. Don't limit me by teaching me to depend on others. Teach me respect, because respect is give and take. Hold me to the same behavior, expectation as others in your classroom. Teach me how to behave and excel in your class. Don't limit me by making me class mascot. Teach me what you expect from me. Set high expectations, not impossible expectations. There is a difference, you know. You will work and learn from me. Good teachers teach and learn with their students. I will teach you a lot about yourself. I will teach your students about people with a disability. If you don't limit me, we will teach our school how to be an inclusive community. You, my teacher, are the person going to teach me power, passion, love, and independence. And I will become a powerful, passionate, and independent adult. So please don't limit me. My name is Megan Brownline. Thank you for your time today. Have a wonderful new school year.
The next two slides list resources that we highly encourage you to look at. When you access the training presentation from the Assistive Technology 101 website, you will be able to click on these links. Please click on the link when viewing in the Google presentation that was shared with you to access the quiz for AAC Training Module 3. You will need to achieve a passing score of 80% or higher for complete credit. You will be notified if you need to retake the quiz to achieve a passing score. Certified staff will receive 0.5 CPDUs. You will receive these forms along with your quiz results.